Okay, welcome everybody. Today's video is going to be talking about the Supreme Court uh, ruling that allows collegiate athletes to make money on their likeness. Now, I have a few things I need to say about this. Everyone has their own little opinions, and not to disregard those opinions, but a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. It's a good thing that players are finally going to get paid what they are deserved. NCAA has made a buttload, a huge amount of money off the backs of these athletes, including myself when I was playing. But there is a legitimate reason, as much as I didn't agree to how NCAA handled their stuff, there's a legitimate reason why athletes shouldn't be paid. Now, if it was up to me, what I would have done is and I hope in the future they do this, the NCAA essentially subsidizes all Division I and Division II scholarship athletes to get paid a certain stipend through the NCAA. Because what's going to end up happening, and this is what a lot of these analysts and all these other people it's sad they don't understand this, is the fact that the moment you bring money into the equation, everything changes. I know this being the type of athlete I was when I was being recruited. I was being recruited by all the big names at the time. Pitt was number one back in 2009. That's my class, 2009. So I had the Pitts, Virginia's, Maryland's, Harvard's, Florida's. I had all of them. Kentucky's even. But you don't realize now, yes, under the table, there were some players getting paid. Some, not all, but some. But it was still regulated, just like the black market when it comes to guns. Same exact thing. It was being regulated. For the most part, it wasn't an even playing field. And you start to understand this by looking at Gonzaga. Gonzaga last year would never have happened in the 2000s and the 2005s, back when it was really prominent that the big schools get the big names and the small schools get nobody. It wasn't until George Mason made the Final Four that people start trying to gravitate towards, let's go to mid-major schools instead of always having to go to the BCS, which stands for the big conference schools, if you don't know. That's what BCS stands for. So nowadays you have teams like, even my team back when I was in Akron, you have the Akrons, the Ohio Universities, the Gonzagas, Davidsons, where Stephen Curry came from. You have those schools. Those schools were small budget. They're not huge, but they're not the Kentucky budgets, the Duke budgets, the North Carolina budgets. They don't got those type of budgets. They don't have that. All they have is, come play for us. It was essentially the most even playing field you can have. Now, what's going to happen is that now the bigger names are going to go to the bigger schools because they're going to have the money. And now, since everything's legal, they're going to make sure that they get underhanded cash to make sure that if there's a high net worth, high marketable individual, that is a business decision for them. If they get them, they'll pay him, for instance, $500,000, and they can make $4 or $5 million. Now, who do you think is going to be able to offer those things? The Dukes and North Carolinas. The Akrons won't be able to afford it. The Duquesnes, the Robert Morrises, the Davidsons, all those smaller budget schools, Gonzaga, they're not going to be able to compete. And it's sad that was the hard yin yang you have to deal with paying collegiate athletes, unfortunately. You're going to lose the purity of the game. And it's going to happen. It's already happening now, but it's going to happen even more so now that players are getting paid. The best players will go to the biggest schools who get paid the most. It won't be for the team anymore. It won't be for, like in the military. And this is one of the reasons why the military camaraderie is so important. It's like, for my fellow man, playing for your team, playing for your teammates. That's why NCAA for the longest time was so competitive. Is you would play for your teammates. You would play for your coaches, your school, your pride. That's what you're playing for. You're not playing for money. Money is so corruptible. And once again, that's why NCAA was always more popular than the NBA, for the most part. More people, if you talk to most basketball fans, they always say, I prefer college over NBA. I prefer college over NBA. Why do you prefer college over NBA? Well, because it's more competitive. Well, they play with more heart. Well, if they're getting paid, you think you're going to play one more hard? It's going to be just like the NBA. Once they're getting paid enough, it's, well, now egos are going to come into play. Now it's, well, I'm making more money than you. Why do I listen to you? And don't get me wrong. I still believe they should be paid. The coaches shouldn't be getting paid $8, $9, $10 million a year. And the players aren't getting anything. But the other side of it's true also. It's the fact that once players are getting paid, and I'm already seeing this surge of it already. I'm knowing people on my own Facebook who are trying to collect, trying to almost like an agent. I hate to call them pariahs. But in a way, they're pariahs. They're trying to get a hold of some of these kids like, hey, come with me and I'll make you all the money so they can make money on the back end. Now it's essentially a Wild West. And now these kids, most of these kids who don't know anything are going to start ending up signing contracts they shouldn't be signing. They're going to sign up rights. They're going to sign away their brand logo, their own brand loyalty to themselves, to someone else without even realizing how much it's going to be worth in the long run. And they're going to make so much money off these kids. And yeah, they're going to get paid. But they're not going to get paid as much as they should have. And that's just one of the many problems that's going to come from this. NCAA should have done this a long time ago. In my opinion, NCAA should have already passed the rule to subsidize all of Division I, Division II athletes. Maybe an extra $2,000 a month, depending on what state you're in when it comes to cost of living. There could be a formula for it. Who knows? That's what really should have been happening. NCAA should be subsidizing all of it, so it could be an even playing field from the BCS schools to the mid-majors. But that's not what's going to happen. Kentucky's, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, the West Virginias, the schools with money. They're going to get all the best players. That's what's going to happen. And then that competition that everyone used to love so much, where Gonzaga got to the finals, and the George Masons getting to the final, that will cease to exist. That won't happen anymore. I almost guarantee that won't happen anymore. Because those players who made those teams are going to go to other teams that are going to pay you more. And I know this because it was already happening back in my time. No, it was nowhere near as prevalent. Now it's open. Oh, it's gonna be mark my words, everyone's going to see the difference in college basketball. People are going to see the politics even more so. Like, politics was essentially, there were politics in college basketball, but nowhere near at the level as it is in professional sports. But you're going to see politics a lot more. You're going to start seeing, not just endorsement deals, stuff like that. You're going to see those big schools get all those guys, get all the players. The small schools will get nothing because they can't afford it. They won't be able to afford it to get to those schools. And not only that, it will be more beneficial to go up to a bigger school now. I chose Akron because I wanted to go to Akron. But if I was coming out right now, I'm going to a bigger school. At the end of the day, it will make me more money. Like, the numbers is going to be the reason why I don't go to a smaller school. So now all those same guys are going to go to the bigger schools because they're going to get more money. You make $1 million over here or $100,000 over here, what you going to pick? You're going to pick the $1 million. So now competition will be diluted. It will. And don't get me wrong, NCAA is already screwed up from this because now the G League is coming at them now. In the G League, and the biggest names, the absolute biggest names, the Williamsons of the world, those guys, those one and done guys, they're going to the G League now because they're offering $1 million contracts so they can lock you down. So NCAA already lost their chance to really do this the right way. Being greedy like they always are. So, that is just going to be my little thoughts to this. I hope people are, I am so glad to see that, athletes will finally not be struggling like I did. But these kids will learn firsthand the reality of business. Because a lot of these athletes don't understand that there are two sides. As I said in my videos, there are two entities you're fighting against as a professional athlete. Which, if you're getting paid, you're a professional now. You have the basketball side and what you do here, winning games, losing games, etc., playing your heart out, and all that stuff. And you have the investor side, the ROI, the return on investment. How much money am I making? Like, if you don't pull out, they will cut you quick. They'll cut you so quick. all that well, don't worry about it, trying to hold themselves up together won't be there anymore. It's going to be, you better put up because we're giving you all this money and we're making all this money off you. And if you don't pan out, we're going to let you go and find someone else. It's going to be very cutthroat. And I feel bad for some of the kids who won't make it because college should have been, I still believe that college should be an even playing field. I don't believe kids should be getting paid, especially the amounts I'm starting to hear about, which I get it. I don't think it should be paid that much, though. I think it should be subsidized to everybody in college, at least. Because, like I said, the essence of competition is going to go away. It's going to be whoever can pay the most. It's going to be, the Dukes and the Crowns are all going to be like the, God, what's that organization? I'm trying to think of it. New York Yankees. There's going to be 100 New York Yankees versus everyone else. Because literally, just think of the MLB. That's essentially what NCAA is about to turn into. And people can try to fight this in a comment section or through any discussion they want. I'm telling you right now, the North Carolina and the Dukes of the world are about to turn to New York Yankees. They have the money to spend. So I can attract you as, quote unquote, some other colleges that I have witnessed them try to do. They're going to be able to do it openly now. Instead of being a $40,000, $50,000, it's going to be $500,000. $800,000. That's how much it's going to be. And like I said, those Akrons, the Ohio Universities, the Buffaloes, the mid-majors, not going to be able to compete. Not going to be able to compete with these schools anymore. The recruiting is going to completely change. Now, what the kids are first going to say, how much money am I going to make? That's all they're going to think. That's all they're going to think about. They're not going to think about camaraderie. They're not going to think about the me becoming a veteran, working the way. They're not going to care about all that. How much money am I getting paid? That's what they're going to think about. It's sad that NCAA had to do this. Basically, screaming and crying like a little toddler, trying to take away his toys or their toys. Like, they made way too much money off of this. But, I guess that's my rant when it comes to this. I just really hope everyone's prepared because college basketball is about to change for the worse, in my opinion. The competition won't be the same. It's going to be whoever has the most money. And don't get me wrong. I believe that some of it is warranted. But a lot of it, I think, should have been preserved for professionals themselves. Because, there's nothing like my college experience. And like I said, you'll see. I ain't going to be me. As I've always said, time will make sure I'm right. I'm not confident in it. I know that's what's going to happen. So, hopefully, everyone can... I had to get my 2 cents in because I'm tired of hearing about all this. And, guys, Control-Delete.